If you're a custodial supervisor at a local high school, you know that cleanliness is key, and that the best place to get cleaning supplies is from Grainger. Grainger helps you stay fully stocked on the products you trust, from paper towels and disinfectants to floor scrubbers. Plus, you can rely on Grainger for easy reordering, so you never run out of what you need. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Hi, this is Knox from the Popcast with Knox and Jamie. And maybe like us at the Popcast, you also know people who have been smokers or vapors. And Zyn is the one product it seems like everyone is talking about, because there are many good reasons to make a change to Zyn nicotine pouches. Reasons like Zyn nicotine pouches are still America's #1 choice for smoke-free, hands-free nicotine satisfaction. And you can choose between 10 varieties, each variety available in either 3 or 6 milligrams. Check out zyn.com/find to find Zyn at a store near you. Warning, this product contains nicotine. Nicotine is an addictive chemical.
AI agents are everywhere, automating tasks and making decisions at machine speed. But agents make mistakes. Just one rogue agent can do big damage before you even notice. Rubrik Agent Cloud is the only platform that helps you monitor agents, set guardrails, and rewind mistakes, so you can unleash agents, not risk. Accelerate your AI transformation at Rubrik.com. That's RUBRIK.com.
Hi, this is Knox from the Popcast with Knox and Jamie. And maybe like us at the Popcast, you also know people who have been smokers or vapors. And Zyn is the one product it seems like everyone is talking about, because there are many good reasons to make a change to Zyn nicotine pouches. Reasons like Zyn nicotine pouches are still America's #1 choice for smoke-free, hands-free nicotine satisfaction. And you can choose between 10 varieties, each variety available in either 3 or 6 milligrams. Check out zyn.com/find to find Zyn at a store near you. Warning, this product contains nicotine. Nicotine is an addictive chemical.
Hey, Ryan Reynolds here. Wishing you a very happy half-off holiday, because right now Mint Mobile is offering you the gift of 50% off unlimited. To be clear, that's half price, not half the service. And Mint is still premium unlimited wireless for a great price. So that means a half day. Yeah? Give it a try at mintmobile.com/switch.
Upfront payment of $45 for 3-month plan, equivalent to $15 per month required. New customer offer for first 3 months only. Speed slow after 35 gigabytes if network's busy. Taxes and fees extra. See mintmobile.com.
Hello, I'm Sarah, and welcome to the Whispering Woods After Dark. I've got one long story to share today, all about a very terrifying canyon. I'll get straight into it. Are you ready for the story? Midnight in the hills of Whittier, California. A lone dirt road twists through Turnbull Canyon. The air is still, yet you can feel something watching. Some locals say if you listen closely, you'll hear it. A faint voice on the wind, calling your name from the blackness between the sycamores. Many who have come here at night describe the same sensation. An inexplicable pull, as if the canyon itself is beckoning. Over the years, too many have answered that call and never come back out. This is not your average haunted hollow. Turnbull Canyon doesn't just house dark tales. Some believe it hunts for new ones. Turnbull Canyon in California is genuinely disturbing. A place so sinister, I'm convinced it's actively hunting people, not merely haunting them. Something, some force, seems to draw certain unknowing victims here. Numerous documented deaths have been tied to this canyon since the 1950s. People with no prior connection have reported dreaming about a mysterious canyon, then driving hundreds of miles to find this exact place and meeting their end here. Cars die here without explanation. Electronics go haywire. Apparitions roam the roads. And sudden cold spots chill the blood. From ghostly women in white on the roadside bridges to YouTube ghost hunts gone horribly wrong, Turnbull Canyon has earned a deadly reputation as the canyon that calls people to their doom. But at the end of this dark tunnel, we do have a glimmer of hope. The incredible true story of a young woman who survived one of the canyon's worst nightmares. To understand why Turnbull Canyon inspires such dread, we have to start with its history. A history steeped in blood and sorrow. Long before Los Angeles sprawled to the horizon, the native Tongva people lived in these hills. Local law claims an old Tongva name, rendering Hutunia, meaning a dark or evil place, though community and linguistic sources don't confirm that translation. Even centuries ago, this gorge was feared as a nexus of malevolent spirits and death. Spanish missionaries in the 1700s reported that the Tongva refused to venture into the canyon at night, believing it was infested with unrestful souls of the dead. During the Spanish and Mexican eras, legend says rebels and indigenous people who defied the missionaries were executed in or near the canyon. A claim repeated locally, but not confirmed by primary records. Violence apparently seeped into the soil early on. In the 19th century, as California passed into American hands, the canyon got its modern name from Robert Turnbull, a Scottish immigrant rancher. Turnbull raised sheep on this land after acquiring it in the 1870s, but he was known as a volatile drunk with many enemies. In 1888, after a night of heavy drinking, Robert Turnbull was found dead in the Los Angeles River with a head injury. His death was mysterious and never resolved. Just months before, Turnbull had finally agreed to sell the canyon property to a group of Quaker settlers. After his mysterious death, those Quakers named the ravine Turnbull Canyon in his honour. If you're inclined to be superstitious, you might say the canyon claimed its namesake. Locals soon said that Turnbull's ghost joined the others already roaming these dark slopes. By the early 20th century, Turnbull Canyon's reputation only grew. In the 1920s and 30s, during the Great Depression, stories emerged of bizarre rituals taking place in the hills. Some claimed a cult had set up shop in the canyon, possibly on the old property of pioneer William Workman, another troubled figure who died by suicide on May 17, 1876. Rumour had it that during the Depression, this cult would adopt orphan children, only to sacrifice them in gruesome ceremonies atop the canyon's highest peaks. It sounds like pure urban legend, and there's no evidence to confirm it, but whispers about satanic rituals and blood sacrifices have clung to Turnbull Canyon ever since. Even now, the locals talk about a place deep in the canyon called Hell's Gate, an old rusted gate behind which supposedly lies the ruins of either an abandoned insane asylum or an orphanage, accounts vary, where unspeakable acts occurred. If you hike far enough, you can actually find a padlocked chain-link fence with faded no trespassing signs. It's real, though whatever, if anything, existed beyond it is lost to rumour. Hell's Gate, the dark rituals, secret KKK meetings in the 1960s, all of it might be myth. It sets the stage. Turnbull Canyon was seen as a bad place long before our modern tragedies began. Over time, Turnbull Canyon earned a layer cake of legends, each more fantastical than the last. It's as if every horror story in California eventually found a home here. Let's unpack some of the most famous lore. As mentioned, the canyon's most persistent legend involves rituals. People have reported finding crude altars, inverted pentagrams spray painted on rocks, melted black candles, and even charred animal remains in secluded areas. During the 1980s, rumours spiked about hooded figures gathering at midnight, and folks swear they've heard chanting echoing through the ravines. The tales are likely exaggerated, but local law enforcement did find occasional evidence of occult activity, animal bones arranged in ritual patterns, etc., which fueled the fire. Some wonder if those rituals cursed the canyon, inviting something truly dark to take root. Hikers often talk about stumbling on the fenced-off Hell's Gate trail. The legend goes that an insane asylum once stood in the canyon in the 1930s and burned, killing patients, or in some versions, orphaned children. A story historians have not corroborated. Now all that remains is a concrete foundation and that padlock gate, which some claim is a literal gate to hell. Given the orphan sacrifice legends, it's no surprise people have reported hearing the disembodied laughter of children in the canyon. Late at night, some drivers claim they hear kids giggling or crying in the darkness, even though no one's there. Others swear they've seen the ghosts of children playing between the oaks, only to vanish when approached. It's creepy and heartbreaking if you know the legend. Many canyon areas seem to boast a lady in white ghost, and Turnbull is no exception. Drivers on Turnbull Canyon Road have repeatedly described seeing a veiled woman in a flowing white gown standing by the roadside at night. Sometimes she's said to appear on one of the old bridge structures. When Good Samaritans slow down, thinking a real woman is hitchhiking, she vanishes into thin air. One motorist even claimed she ran through his car, an apparition gliding across the road and straight through his vehicle before disappearing. Hikers during dusk or dawn have reported dark human-shaped shadows skulking along the ridgelines or darting between trees at the periphery of vision. These entities don't speak, they just watch and sometimes follow quietly. Anyone brave or foolish enough to chase a shadow figure ends up finding nothing but empty air. Here we come back to those voices on the wind. People camping or living near Turnbull have heard blood-curdling screams, echoing from the canyon at odd hours. Others describe faint whispers, or even unearthly shrieks and babbling in unknown tongues, coming from deep within the brush. On more than one occasion, police have actually responded to reports of screaming in the canyon, only to find it deserted. Is it mountain lions? They do make horrible screeching cries, or something more supernatural. No one knows, but it certainly keeps people out of the canyon at night. More modern legend. Drivers say that while winding through the canyon road, they sometimes see a pair of headlights racing up behind them out of nowhere. The lights accelerate, as if an aggressive driver is about to rear-end you on the narrow turn. Then, poof, the headlights disappear soon as they get too close. This ghost car has never truly caused an accident, thankfully, but it's freaked out many late-night commuters. Some tie this to the next big event we'll discuss, a deadly crash that left its own imprint. As if ghosts and ghouls weren't enough, Turnbull Canyon also gets looped into UFO lore. There have been reports of strange lights zigzagging in the sky above the canyon, and even a rumour that a hidden military installation or missile test site lies underground here. This one likely stems from the fact that during the Cold War, there was a Nike missile site on a nearby hill in Puente Hills, but not exactly in Turnbull. Still, it gave birth to ideas of secret bases in the area. A few people have claimed to see classic disc-shaped objects or orbs of light hovering over Turnbull Canyon at night before zipping away at impossible speeds. As you can see, the legends cover everything, from ghosts to cults to aliens. Beyond the myths and ghost stories, Turnbull Canyon's true horror lies in its very real history of death. This place has seen an uncanny number of fatalities, accidents, murders, unexplained tragedies, you name it. On April the 18th, 1952, Robin Airlines Flight 416W, a Curtiss C-46, crashed in the Puente Hills near Whittier, killing all 29 aboard. Investigators concluded the captain, Lewis R. Powell, descended below the safe altitude during a pre-dawn approach. The plane then struck terrain in the Puente Hills. Locals didn't even know immediately. The crash was so remote that it wasn't until hours later, when a rancher saw smoke rising from the hills, that rescuers found the site. The wreckage was strewn across the canyon, a scene of utter devastation. For days, the charred debris smouldered in the ravine. Some say you could smell burning metal and fuel from miles away. To this day, hikers claim to occasionally hear phantom explosions or see wisps of smoke in the area where the plane went down, as if an echo of that disaster still lingers. The Flight 416W crash is often cited as Turnbull Canyon's earliest modern tragedy. It alone accounts for nearly half of the deaths associated with the canyon, and it sets a grim tone for the decades to follow. Fast forward to 1979, a 15-year-old boy from Whittier was walking home from a Halloween party when he was kidnapped by two men. In a horrifying attack, the kidnappers took him up Turnbull Canyon. The boy was stabbed multiple times and then thrown off a high ridge, left for dead in the canyon below. Incredibly and tragically, the teenager managed to crawl back up to the roadside, despite his grievous wounds. A passing motorist found him and rushed him to hospital, but sadly his injuries were too severe. The boy died during surgery, fighting to the end. In the early 90s, the canyon was the dumping ground for at least one gang-related murder. One Saturday morning in 1992, a cyclist pedalling along Turnbull Canyon Road noticed a station wagon pulled over and a couple of men tossing something large into the brush. After the car sped off, the cyclist's curiosity led him to investigate, and he found a body wrapped in plastic at the bottom of the canyon. The victim was a man from El Monte who had been shot in the head and chest while he slept in his own home. His killers had driven here to dispose of him. Thanks to the cyclist taking down a license plate, police eventually tracked down the perpetrators. But imagine being that cyclist, thinking you were seeing someone dump trash, and realising it was a human body. It cemented Turnbull's image as a place where people hide very bad things. This is one of the better-known cases, and it's truly nightmarish. In November 2002, 17-year-old Gloria Gaxiola went for a late-night drive with 3 acquaintances, young men she thought were her friends. Unbeknownst to Gloria, these friends were afraid she might testify against them in an upcoming robbery trial. Their solution? Eliminate the witness. On a lonely stretch of Turnbull Canyon Road, the men shot Gloria in the head, killing her. They dragged her out of the car and left her on the roadside. But as the killers sped away, they failed to notice that Gloria's foot was caught in a seatbelt. In a horrific turn, her body became entangled and was dragged for over 4 miles behind the car as they drove out of the canyon. The next morning, authorities followed a trail of blood to discover Gloria's remains. It took years of detective work, but by 2008, all 3 perpetrators were arrested and later convicted of her murder. The spot in the canyon where Gloria was killed is now another grim landmark in this canyon of death. Tragedy struck again in March 2011 when a young woman's body was found deep in a ravine of the canyon. She'd been shot in the head, execution style. Investigators identified her as the girlfriend of a Whittier man who had fled the country immediately after her disappearance. It turned out the boyfriend murdered her and dumped her in the canyon, then ran off to Mexico. He fled soon after, and for years the case hung over the community. And these are just some of the documented cases. There have also been plenty of fatal accidents and unexplained deaths here. A popular tale in the local high schools recalls how a few years ago, a newly graduated teen went partying up in the canyon at night and tragically fell to his death from a cliff. A lethal combination of youthful bravado, possibly substances, and the canyon's treacherous terrain, and perhaps something else at work, luring him to the edge. It's hard to verify every story, but talk to any Whittier or Hacienda Heights old-timer, and they'll rattle off a list of people who didn't make it out of Turnbull. Many of these deaths were ruled accidental or self-inflicted, but the locals see an unsettling pattern. They say no place around here racks up tragedies quite like Turnbull Canyon. One especially creepy anecdote. Locals tell of a teenage boy, known to be terrified of heights, found at the bottom of a steep drop in the canyon. Everyone assumed it was a suicide, but his distraught mother insisted there's no way her son would voluntarily climb up high somewhere, not with his fear of heights. She claimed that in the weeks before, he had complained about voices calling to him from the canyon, almost beckoning him. Whether it was mental illness or something paranormal, the boy seemed drawn to Turnbull against his own nature until he fell to his death. Even those who don't succumb to violence face inexplicable phenomena. Cars have a habit of stalling or breaking down on Turnbull Canyon Road far more often than seems normal. Ask any AAA tow truck driver in the area. It's become a trope that if you drive through at night, your engine might sputter outright at the scariest bend, blame faulty wiring, or the resident ghosts messing with you. Electronics and phones frequently lose signal or malfunction in the canyon's depths, as if an electromagnetic force hovers over the area. And multiple visitors report sudden temperature drops, pockets of cold air on otherwise warm nights, that classic sign of supernatural presence. Amid all these grim tales, we have one story that stands out as a beacon of resilience, a rare miracle in the canyon of horrors. It's the story of Christina Martinez, a young woman from nearby Bellflower who quite literally went through hell in Turnbull Canyon and lived to tell the tale. The year was 2009. Christine was 19 years old, a recent high school graduate with a whole life ahead of her. She was a kind-hearted, trusting girl who, like many her age, enjoyed hanging out with friends and having a good time. That night, two male acquaintances, guys she considered casual friends, invited Christine to join them for a drive. They said they were going up to Turnbull Canyon just to cruise, drink a little, and watch the stars from the hilltop. Christine, being from Bellflower, wasn't extremely familiar with Turnbull Canyon's reputation. Maybe if she had been, she'd have thought twice about going. But she agreed, figuring it was a normal Friday night plan. Unbeknownst to Christine, these two friends had a sinister agenda. Before she fully realised what was happening, they attacked her and did their best to finish her off. Her cries fell on deaf ears. Believing she was dead or close to it, the two men then dragged Christina's bleeding body to the edge of the ravine and threw her down into a brush-filled canyon crevice, roughly 50 feet down. They left her there to die in the dirt. For most people, this would have been the end. By any logic, Christine should not have survived. She was gravely wounded, alone in the wilderness, without a phone, in the middle of the night. But Christine Martinez was not ready to die. Whether by sheer will, adrenaline, or something watching over her, she refused to let go. As the perpetrators drove off, Christine remained conscious. Her first thought was her 1-year-old son. She had a baby boy at home, and she was determined to see him again. With that resolve, Christine did the unthinkable. She began to climb out of the canyon, wounded, dizzy from blood loss, and in excruciating pain, she clawed her way uphill through the dirt and thorny scrub. It was a steep slope, essentially a cliffside, but she grabbed at roots and rocks, pulling herself upward inch by inch. Her fingernails tore as she dug into the earth. Her clothes were soaked in blood. Weak and barely able to stand, Christine knew she had one chance left. Find help. Fast. By sheer luck or divine timing, she spotted a faint light on a hill above the road, a porch light of a distant house. Gathering the last reserves of her strength, Christine left the road and climbed up another hill toward that light. In the pre-dawn hours, and a 90-year-old woman named Arlene is asleep in her easy chair in that house on Skyline Drive, when her security alarm suddenly goes off. Arlene wakes to frantic banging on her back door. She opens the door to find a young woman collapsed on her porch, covered head to toe in blood, with slash wounds around her neck. This kindly retired church lady immediately called 911 and rendered what aid she could to Christine, likely saving her life. Paramedics arrived and rushed Christine to the hospital, where doctors were astonished she was even alive. It was truly a miracle. The newspaper would later dub her the girl who wouldn't die. Christine survived her attacker's brutal attempt on her life, and she remembered everything. With her testimony, police hunted down the so-called friends who did this to her. Both men were arrested, tried, and by 2011, they were convicted and sent to prison for attempted murder. Justice was served, and for once, Turnbull Canyon was merely the backdrop to a story that didn't end in death. Visiting the spot where Christine crawled out, some say you can feel an entirely different energy compared to the rest of Turnbull. Not a cold spot, but a strangely warm one, as if her will to live left a positive imprint there. So, is Turnbull truly cursed, or simply a scenic spot unfortunate enough to attract human malice and tragedy? Perhaps a bit of both. There's no denying that something is different about the canyon. The indigenous people felt it ages ago when they named it a place of evil. Those who come for the beautiful views often don't stay long. Many have cut their visit short, reporting feelings of being watched or even chased out of the canyon by unseen eyes. In the end, Turnbull Canyon holds tight to its secrets. All we know for sure is that this canyon has been the site of immense suffering. From the massacres of the past to the murders of the present, such suffering may leave a mark. Perhaps the spirits of the victims do linger restlessly, their pain echoing as those disembodied cries in the night. Perhaps the collective dread of generations has manifested into an almost sentient darkness that feeds on new tragedies. Or maybe it's all human madness and coincidence, and the only demons here are the ones we create ourselves.
If you're a smoker or vapor, ready to make a change, you really only need one good reason. But with Zyn nicotine pouches, you'll discover many good reasons. Zyn is America's #1 nicotine pouch brand. Plus, Zyn offers a robust rewards program. There are lots of options when it comes to nicotine satisfaction, but there's only one Zyn. Check out Zyn.com/find to find Zyn at a store near you. Warning, this product contains nicotine. Nicotine is an addictive chemical.
If you're a custodial supervisor at a local high school, you know that cleanliness is key, and that the best place to get cleaning supplies is from Grainger. Grainger helps you stay fully stocked on the products you trust, from paper towels and disinfectants to floor scrubbers. Plus, you can rely on Grainger for easy reordering, so you never run out of what you need. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Well, this place sounds like a whole lot of fun, doesn't it? And I am saying that with sarcasm. What a place. What is going on? There's so many... I think it's probably difficult for me to understand as a British person because our country, Britain, is so very tiny. And so you don't have these sort of vast expanses as much as America do. And so for a number of murders to have happened in one place would be really, really unusual in this country. And I guess it's trying to change that frame of mind to somewhere as big as America. And my brain just can't do it. You know, it really can. So it's just like, is this really coincidental or is something going on? And I don't know. I'd love to hear what you think. If you'd like to get in touch, there are links down below for our Facebook group and also other social media links. Please do drop me a line and let me know. And that's the end of this episode. I hope you enjoyed, and we will catch you again tomorrow. Take care, everyone.
Take control of the numbers and supercharge your small business with Xero. That's Xero. With our easy-to-use accounting software with automation and reporting features, you'll spend less time on manual tasks and more time understanding how your business is doing. 87% of surveyed U.S. customers agree Xero helps improve financial visibility. Search Xero with an X or visit Xero.com/ACAST to start your 30-day free trial. Conditions apply.
If you're a smoker or vapor ready to make a change, you really only need one good reason. But with Zyn nicotine pouches, you'll discover many good reasons. Zyn is America's #1 nicotine pouch brand. Plus, Zyn offers a robust rewards program. There are lots of options when it comes to nicotine satisfaction. But there's only one Zyn. Check out Zyn.com/find to find Zyn at a store near you. Warning, this product contains nicotine. Nicotine is an addictive chemical.
If you're a maintenance supervisor at a manufacturing facility and your machinery isn't working right, Grainger knows you need to understand what's wrong as soon as possible. So when a conveyor motor falters, Grainger offers diagnostic tools like calibration kits and multimeters to help you identify and fix the problem. With Grainger, you can be confident you have everything you need to keep your facility running smoothly. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
The stories told on the Whispering Woods are inspired by historical records, witness reports, and local folklore. While every effort is made to research and represent events accurately, some details, names, and locations may differ from official accounts or have been changed out of respect for those involved. These episodes are created for storytelling and entertainment purposes and should not be considered definitive fact or investigative journalism.